My name is Sandra. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about mindfulness and productivity and how I use that and focus on those two topics in my bullet journal. I thought I kind of knew what mindfulness was, but I actually looked up the definition just to really get a clear, concise definition. And so here it is. So mindfulness is to be fully present and aware of where we are, what we're doing, and not be overly reactive or overwhelmed by our surroundings. So I take that to mean that you really have control over what you're doing and why you're doing it, and you're not stressed out. And so you guys can already see where I'm going with this and bullet journaling. So the next one is productivity. And again, I did search it just to get a clear and concise definition. So productivity is to work efficiently within a certain time to maximize output. It says at a high quality and at a quick speed. The first thing I'll say is you definitely get better at these the more you do them. So the more you intentionally practice them every day, it's treat it like a habit. The more you do it, the faster you'll get at it, the better you'll get at it, and it's firmly encased in your mind. It almost becomes just like an everyday part of your routine that you don't even have to think about anymore. And I think it also, in order to accomplish mindfulness and productivity, it's basically my aim every day to focus on the present and to do what I'm doing well. First thing that I do every year, so at the beginning of the year setup, I do include all of my goals. And now I actually use a separate planner to create my goals. I use the Cultivate What Matters power sheets, but then I do transfer those goals over to my bullet journal. And my focus, like one of my goals, I have a goal for my goals. This sounds crazy. One of my goals is to create, like I've got my main goals for the entire year, but I really do want to focus on breaking them up into quarterly goals and then breaking them down further into monthly, and then you go into weekly tasks, daily tasks, and then daily habits. What I do in my bullet journal is in every month on the calendar page, I have a spot where I can do monthly focus. And that's something that I absolutely want or have to get done that month. And that really helps me kind of draw my attention away from, the everyday mundane life tasks that we do every day, and focuses back on those main goals I want to accomplish. I always keep it easy to access, so if I want to earmark that page, I'll either put washi tape on the edge of the page or I will put an extra bookmark there just so I can always go back and check. Sometimes I'll look back to motivate myself and say, yes, this needs to get done. This is my priority and focus for the month. And I'll also put it on my weekly pages, so I know, okay, this is a task that will focus on that main monthly goal that will kind of, go back to that year goal that I'm originally trying to get done. Another thing that I'll do is I'll keep those goals small. So I'll only have at most 3 of them per month, and they're basically mini goals that I will break down from the entire year and just keep them small, because if you have too many, you won't be able to accomplish all of them, or you'll do a little bit of each one, or you might get 1 or 2 out of all of them done. But it's best to keep it small and manageable. That also ties into the aspect of endless to-do lists. So what I used to do, and again, I will change this up depending on what my goals are for that month or what I need to get done. I used to have rolling dailies. So basically I could make my daily task list as long as I wanted. And I used to think that was a good thing. And, to an extent it is, but at the same time, I had to force myself back a little bit. So what I decided to do is make weekly boxes, and they're small enough that I can only fit like top 2 or 3 tasks under each day, so that I can really narrow it down and focus on the things I need to focus on. The trouble that I run into is because I have an online business, I have like 5 or 6 things going on. I'm a full-time mom, I've got 2 kids, and now we're currently doing online school for a grade 1, which is, in my opinion, ridiculous, because grade 1 kids don't focus. It's hard enough to get them to focus at school, let alone at home on a computer. I have a bazillion and one tasks that I do every day. And because I've made my boxes, my weekly boxes, so much smaller, I don't write down everything I need to do every day. But a lot of that stuff I need to get done is already ensconced in my brain, and I know, like, this is part of my morning routine. And if it does help me, I will write down a morning routine and a night routine, but I've done them for so long already that I know what needs to get done. It's a habit that I've just kind of already established within myself. So I know what I need to do. In addition, I do also keep a habit tracker in every bullet journal spread I've set up since I started bullet journaling. I will focus on the things I either want to improve or the things I want to focus on. So for instance, I am terrible, and this sounds really bad, but I am terrible at drinking water. It's the most simple of tasks, and we need like water every day to survive, and yet I forget to drink water. There are points in my life where for a whole week I'll do really, really well. My goal is 4 of my water bottles, which hold 32 ounces of water, and I need to drink at least 4, not including all of the extra things I drink throughout the day, like my tea or my coffee or whatever, my milk. But that's my goal. And that has been my goal since the start of last year, actually. And I seem to get ahead a little bit and then I stop. And of course, I feel wonderful when I drink the water. And then when I don't, I'm always thirsty. And not even that clues me into the fact that I need to start drinking water. It's just the fact that I am checking it off in my bullet journal every day reminds me that I need to start doing it. So another tip is that I only focus on looking at my bullet journal twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. The evening time is always when I go to write my list for the next day, and that is most important for me because it basically gives me a starting point for where I can start my day. I am most productive in the morning. And so, what that allows me to do is it takes away the time I would take to spend time planning, and I can just be my most productive at my most productive. And then I also have like a focus of where I want to start. And I'll usually start on my hardest task first, get it done, and then at least I have that sense of accomplishment that the thing that I wanted to get done is done, and I can move on and finish everything else that's on the list. And then, of course, I always check it again the next morning because as you sleep, your brain kind of processes things and you might think of something else in addition to add. So then I check over my list, figure out what I need to do. But when I check it in the morning, it's usually only for 2 or 3 minutes just to see what I need to get done. And I'll close it, put it away, and I'll focus on my tasks bright and early in the morning. Then I do all of the things, and when I come back to my bullet journal in the evening, I will sit down, review what I've got accomplished that day, check everything off, and if there's something that I never accomplished that I still need to do, I'll move it forward to the next day. And also at nighttime, usually I'll have like a cup of tea just to kind of calm myself down. Sometimes you run into another problem, which I'm going to call busy work. So it could be a number of things. And again, it's different for everybody. So if you stay strictly focused on the things that you have written down in your bullet journal, and those are the top things you have to get done, that's great. But a lot of times what we'll do, and this is an example that I've run into myself. So say for instance, I'm in the middle of where I've just started to kind of get into what I need to get done, and there's like a particular tool or something I need that I need to go look for. So I go to try to find it and I can't find it. So then I end up cleaning the room or cleaning the desk to find the item I need. I find the item, or sometimes I don't, but then instead of doing the thing I needed to do originally, I end up cleaning my desk, which distracts me and throws me off, and then my entire potential for productivity is just thrown away. So there's a very fine line between being busy and being productive. So productive is doing the thing that you actually need to get done and being efficient at it. So, doing it really quick, doing it with a high degree of quality. And then also there's just being busy where, you're like, oh, I need to clean the kitchen, or you get sidetracked and, you start browsing social media and you can make the excuse that you're looking for, bullet journal content or some idea that would eventually help you in the future, but it's not focused on the task that you wanted to get done now. And so it's easy to, I guess, explain it. It's easy to make excuses for yourself, for lack of a better word. And you just need to kind of refocus your energy, get back onto track, and get the thing done that needs to get done. And then you have time later to do other things that aren't as high a priority. So another thing that I use for mindfulness and productivity is a brain dump. Now, what a brain dump was originally used for, in my opinion, and this was again created by Ryder Carroll, is to clear your mind of all of the things that we think about. So everything that, if you have an appointment coming up and you don't want to forget it, write it down in your brain dump. Or if there's a particular thought you had or some kind of idea that you don't want to forget, write it down in your brain dump. And then it's free from your mind. You can focus on your task at hand, and you can always come back to your bullet journal later and put it in the proper area where you need to schedule it or migrate it or whatever you need to do. And so the brain dump works well if you have, random thoughts or ideas and that sometimes pop into your head, and then you can just write it down there. So the last thing I want to talk about in regards to mindfulness and productivity and how it pertains to your bullet journal is actually writing journal entries in your bullet journal. So I have mentioned this before, but I do keep a regular journal where I write all of my emotional things and everything that happens during the day. But there is another type of bullet called the pensive bullet. Now, this is what writer Carol had originally been talking about in terms of bullet journaling. So a lot of people will use a bullet journal for a task list or a daily to-do list, and that's kind of what mine has turned into. So when you have a free form daily list or a daily rolling list, so what you can do, the simple dot form is for tasks that need to get done. An open circle is for an event or like a birthday or an appointment. And then you've got the little dash, which is basically a thought note. So kind of, what you feel about that thing, or, is there something that you need to deal with? So you could say, do I need to check this? Is this something important? And then when you go back into your bullet journal in the evening or in the morning, whatever you decide to do, it's time for reflection. So what I will do is I'll look at all of the points I've made throughout the day. And if any of those points need to be moved to, a different month, a different time of the day, or the next day even, if you have to schedule it or migrate it, I could turn it into some sort of idea. And so basically, it's a form of journaling that kind of ties in along with the tasks you need to do throughout the day. A lot of times, because I have so many things to do, I don't get time to do that. And that's another one of my goals I'm working on, is to make room for the pensive bullet. I love the idea of it, and I just think we need to stop and take note of what we're doing and just kind of refocus back on the importance of reflection too. And I think that's great for mindfulness. I think it's great to be productive, because then it really does help you tighten down on your goals and focus on what's most important and what is the highest priority on your list. So I hope this list of mindfulness and productivity tools has kind of given you some insight as to how to use your bullet journal to its best capacity to make you more mindful of the things you're doing throughout the day and to make you more productive. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, I would love if you would consider subscribing, and don't forget to click that bell button. You'll always be notified of my videos when I post them. That being said, we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.